Hi. So this quick guide is going to walk you through how to create a very basic widget plugin in WordPress. I've got a boilerplate plugin already set up, and I'll link to the quick guide for how to do that if you've not done it before. And if you're not familiar, widgets in WordPress are these things that I can slide around, and typically in sidebars, but also other places, they can pop in and out. So to create a widget, I generally will go to the Codex and just copy this example class. I'm not going to keep everything here, but basically you'll get a class and you'll want to customize the name of it. For me, it'll be something like QG widget, because I'm only going to make one and it'll only have one name, so that name is specific enough. And then basically there are 4 functions we need in here. We need a construct. This double underscore makes it a PHP magic method, which means when you say new QG widget somewhere, this function gets run. That's what a construct function does. And then there are WordPress specific ones called widget, form, and update. We're not going to use form and update in this video. Form is for if you want to make people able to set certain configuration things on your things, like a title or a number of comments. In order to do that, you'll need to create a form that matches this stuff. And in order to save that data, you'll need to use an update method that'll save those form fields and convert them from into a sanitized form. So we'll go ahead and remove those because we aren't using them today. And the one method we're going to worry about is this widget method, which is basically the way you create the actual thing that comes through here, like this recent posts widget or the recent comments widget. So that widget function needs to be doing something. So I'm going to quickly register my widget, which is the second half of what I need to do. I'm going to copy this 5.3 plus version because at this point I feel okay with that. And you'll notice the big thing is that we're hooking onto the widgets init action, and then we're giving a class name to the register widgets function, and I'm going to actually copy the QG widget on the name of my widget. That's the thing that needs to be in sync, is this class name and the class. And with that, if I reload, I can then go into widgets, sidebar, add a widget, and my widget should be available here. It'll still say, because I haven't tweaked these values, it'll just say my widget. And indeed, I can add my widget. To prove the point that these are the same thing, I can go ahead and rename this and say this is a widget for a quick guide. And call this quick guide widget instead. And probably for good measure, these my widgets, which are kind of just the internal names WordPress uses, I'm going to go ahead and change those to QG widget 2, if I could type. And I'm going to need to save and publish and then reload in order for them to take the effect they should have here. But with that, we will see that our widget is now called, it has been renamed because of the class change, I'm sorry. So with that, I can now add the widget and drag it around. So if I put it above the search box, you'll notice there's nothing there. If I put it below it, nothing there. And that's because there's nothing in this widget thing. So if I echo widget, we'll be able to see where our widget is. And so now we're seeing that we've got widget coming through. Now, this is again a place where I refer to the Codex because there's so much boilerplate oddities in this method. What is getting passed in is basically a series of arguments from the theme. The theme will specify when it names a widget area, things like the before widget markup that it wants. Is it a div? Is it a h1? That kind of thing. And then we'll also have instance variables, which are variables unique to our local widget. In this case, this is accessing title. If we were using the form in the field method to use that, this would make sense, but because we're not, I'm just going to remove that for right now and replace the instances of instance title with quick guide widget. The string quick guide widget. All right. With that, we should see a quick guide widget with a hello world below it. Hello world being text that was just there from the example. So again, I'll refresh to be able to see it. And now I have a very basic widget that kind of blends in. It doesn't quite match up because this line styling from 2017 is different, but this is the basics of creating a widget in a WordPress theme. Obviously, you'll probably want to change the markup that comes out here. You may want people to be able to control your widget title. All of that stuff you can add on beyond this, but this gets you started on a basic widget. Hopefully that's helpful.